wonderful ladies with us, one of our oldest universities, one of our youngest. You have a 50-year-old legacy, and you have what, a 10 to 12-year-old legacy. So it's quite interesting to see both of you together. And Santishree, welcome back. It was such a pleasure to have you last time, and of course this is your own city, so welcome. JNU has not been in the news so much of late, except of course for the BBC documentary screening. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a very good thing because I think the media doesn't report good things. We are doing very good academics, research. You would be happy to know we jumped 220 ranks in the QS ratings. We have broken the 500 rank mark. That was never told. We beat all the IITs except two, and that is Delhi and Bombay. And so JNU is back to academics, as well as we believe in diversity.
Yeah.
So all interpretations, all narratives have enough space.
And you also have a woman as the head of the Teachers Association,
yes.
A woman as the head of the
yeah.
Students' Union. So that's the answer to
no, and
everything.
Even we have increased from 19 chairmen who were women to 39. And for the first time, we have a CVO who's a woman, as well as the director of R&D, a woman from the scheduled caste, who's a professor.
So is the answer to good governance having a woman at the top?
Top, and even diversity, including
right.
all types of diversity.
Sunaina, what has your experience been? Because setting a new institute is a tremendous task, that too in the middle virtually of nowhere. But you've managed to get it up and running with 45, I think you have 47 staff, compared to, of course, her 8,000.
10,000 students and 1,200 staff.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Kaveree. I don't think we should compare JNU with Nalanda, since Nalanda has an illustrious history.
Of course, it's older.
8 centuries of interdisciplinary international education in that age and time, which got it the name of Vishwaguru. And then after 8 centuries to recreate the magic of Nalanda yet again, itself I think was a major decision of the government of India. But we've been there now for 12 years roughly, but I think the university actually started running post 2017, not because I took the charge at that point of time, but because I firmly believe that the university was non-existent, because we took courses, and in the backwoods of Bihar, in a two pota cabins for classrooms, that's what I inherited at that point of time. Journey has been massive, I must say, in the last 5 years. In fact, I had requested for some pictures to be moving of the campus that we have built.
Designed by B.V. Doshi's company, Vastu Shilpa?
Those were the architects.
Right.
Those were the architects. Firm. He himself was not involved.
Right.
Somebody else was involved. We had a very young person who needed to be reminded that he has to give the drawings in time. But nevertheless, the journey has been extremely interesting and productive, because one had to look at a composite picture of the university, keeping the illustrious history in mind, and the 17 countries, member countries, that have supported the re-establishment of Nalanda in the East Asian Summit. I think this is a flagship program of Government of India. Therefore, I thought the total commitment, what Kiran Bedi ji said. Now, this is the new campus that's come up in last 4 years. So I had to work in multi-dimensional fashion. I build the infrastructure in a completely, state-of-the-art fashion, befitting the name of ancient Nalanda. The image had to be upheld. But I also had to work simultaneously in building an academic architecture, because that to me is intrinsic. That's the soul of an institution, because that was very important. And I embarked on that. Complete support of government. Government never interferes, That has been my experience. This is my a third or fourth tenure as head of the institution. I've earlier headed a research organization which was international, and then a central university, just like Professor Santishree. And that was in the same mold as JNU. So you had many challenges, but then you need to take up challenges and transform them into productive work. You know, how do you translate an idea into reality? Nalanda today, if you take a closer look, you know, we created about 100 acres of water bodies, 300 acres of greenery, and the remaining, it's 555 or 65 acres. It's a completely net zero sustainable campus made in the mold of ancient Nalanda with ahar pines, all the ancient forms of creation. So I see a very bright future. While it has challenges of locational disadvantage, you know, we still need to work. We are work in progress, I would say. But right now, are we in a good place? I would say yes, because it's extremely promising.
So, Santishree, but the ultimate products of any university are its students. And, you know, you've interacted now with so many students from diverse backgrounds in your year. You've just about completed a year as the head. What has your experience been of the students, of their needs, of their aspirations? What is the sense that you get of the young India, which you're really, you know, molding?
I think the young India is extremely, innovative. They have good ideas. What we need is to give them the proper direction. And in JNU, not only direction, we also give them variety. They are exposed to so many narratives, and we have one of the most brilliant faculties in India. I can vouch for that. And most of the students come, the competition is so high.
Yes.
It is 1:1 lakh who come into JNU, and let us commend the central government because they have kept up the spirit of JNU, which is to serve the brilliant among the marginalized.
Yes.
Our fees is still 10 and 20 rupees. And let me tell you that this institution is serving the purpose, and I can also say all my students are very creative, very innovative, as well as very nationalistic. Kaveree, let me tell you, all the top defense institutes of India, meaning NDA, IMA, all the naval academies are affiliated to JNU. So I think we are one of the most nationalistic, but at the same time, we hold up the spirit of the Indian civilization state, that is diversity. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti.
And argument.
Yes.
Which is important.
Very important.
So when you have incidents like the BBC documentary screening, that sends the wrong message to people, isn't it?
No, the question is, see, it's a public institution. Nobody is questioning anybody's individual rights. But in institutions, you cannot, permit the screening, because there are people of the opposite view also who feel that it should not be screened. So the best we told them is that this is the advisory, and we would not advise it to be screened on the campus. And let me tell you, JNU did not screen the documentary on the campus. And this was done with the cooperation of students and faculty. Yes, they disagreed, but we agreed to disagree. And there was peace on the campus.
Peace on campus is important,
Yes.
of course, but how much of a role does your faculty have to play in that? You also have to get the faculty on your side. Not all of them agree perhaps with your point of view. How do you persuade them? How do you work with them?
We keep talking. We have the academic councils, the executive councils, where there are a lot of dissenting voices. And let me tell you, we are not so fragile that any criticism would bring us down. I think the civilization is the only one with China to enter the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah.
So it is extremely strong to dissent, and dissenting voices are appreciated. And even they agree that there is space for everybody in this country.
Right. Have you had any personal experience where someone that you disagreed with violently, or let's not use violent, someone you disagreed with, whose politics perhaps you didn't agree with, you were able to persuade?
I think let's say all of them are persuaded. The piece the whole year has been that we are working together. And I think let's remember that diversity brings this beautifulness. All of us agree. And I don't think any faculty was ever violent, at least in the last 1 year of there. And we have been, and all of them are very happy to, work positively. And they believe that, everybody has a role
Are
to
they
play.
happy to give attendance and all that they were
No,
objecting
see,
to?
they take their lectures. I have made this very clear to them that they have to take their lectures as per the rules of the University Grants Commission. And their presence on the campus is needed, though we don't have attendance. The Honorable Supreme Court said JNU should not be put into under any force.
Yes.
So they've made us an exception to the rules, so I cannot put up things that, I think all teachers are accountable. Self-discipline, as what Kiran Bedi ma'am said, I think many of them practice self-discipline.
Right. So, Sunaina, what can you learn from Santishree's year at JNU?
Well, there are many things that one can learn from JNU per se. And, the experiences tend to should bring the best from us. On the question of how to persuade,
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary to persuade, or be persuasive all the time. I think it's very important that an institution has its backbone, and as administrative executive heads, we stand up to the ethical values. We stand up to the academic, framework of the institution. And I've had several experiences in my earlier Central University where I had to stand up and say no to many things, like students. It could be different demands. For one, I would always make it very clear, if you have a request, you may come to me and I will address the issue. But if you come with a demand, I may not look at it, because it's very important for me as an academic that we teach our student the discipline of respect to begin with. The basic courtesies, the Indian ethos it rests on politeness, it rests on our sanskar, or, I've said many times no, and the students have relented many times. They have to, at times, when they see that there is logic, when they see there is commitment, when they see that in your heart you would want the university to progress. So as heads of the institution, when we are committed to the goals of developing an institution, it's perceived by others, it's understood by others, if not earlier, later. And it has worked. End of the day, you do succeed. But also I must bring another point here as different leadership that we look at. Leadership per se is gender neutral, I believe.
Yeah.
And,
but I do feel that women have a tendency to carry people along better.
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of plus points.
No?
I ignore. I think it is gender neutral.
Gender.
It depends on the individual and the position. I would rather say we shouldn't fight for the superiority tag.
Yeah.
I think there are also very sensitive, gender-sensitive men. And I think it's possible because I think we also believe in Ardhanarishwar,
right,
on the idea of balance, on the idea of harmony.
Right.
So I think the way we look at gender is in a more harmonious fashion, including the transgenders.
Yes. What's your one wish for JNU in the next year?
Basically, we have to improve our infrastructure. We are bringing in a lot of industry to work with in university, in infrastructure, as well as in restructuring many of our courses to make it more flexible in the whole framework of the NEP 2020, as well as I would say the student faculty, coming together. We are more or less working well together at this point of time, and we hope to make it much better in the university. So first I would say infrastructure.
Right.
We really have a dwindling infrastructure of more than 54 years.
Yeah.
And we need to, and the government of India has been extremely generous.
But you need to raise your corpus for that, don't you?
Yeah, we are raising our corpus.
How are you doing that?
You know, I'm getting a lot of corpus grants
Right.
from different sources. One is I got a corpus grant for the study of Tamil. We are setting up a special center for Tamil
Wonderful.
studies, culture. We already have a Tamil stream where we translated Tolkappiyam into
Right.
Hindi.
Who is funding this?
The state government of Tamil Nadu.
Well
I
done.
thank the Honorable Chief Minister Muka Stalin. He gave us 10 crores.
Wow.
And this sent a domino effect. We have the state of Maharashtra, the state of Odisha, as well as the state of Assam, setting up different chairs in JNU
Wonderful.
where they're giving us 10 crores each. So from 50 crores, I've taken up our corpus to 90 crores.
And your plan is to raise it to 250.
250, yes.
What you're going to do?
We are going to go even to private, industry where they can do it in the form of infrastructure
Right.
and others. And for that, the image of the JNU has to become much more positive. So the first year we achieved, I think to a large extent, we're able to achieve that.
Right. So what are the other chairs that you plan to do? You've gone to the government.
One is Shankar Deva chair.
Right.
And the other is Odisha. We have the Odia Sarla Das
Right.
chair. And then in Maharashtra, we are having what is to say the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj chair. We also have the Special Center for National Security Studies, where we hope to study the Cholas and their naval power, and the Marathas, their guerrilla warfare,
Right.
and their naval power, Sardar Angre. So these are the other courses that we are bringing in, so that this would enrich the already existing courses that we have. And in philosophy, we are bringing in Shaiva Siddhanta, especially from Tamil, the southern part, Vaishnavism, both from Manipur and Tamil Nadu and other parts. So we're bringing in other disciplines which greatly enlighten and make holistic students out of the university.
And do you have the support of your faculty?
Yes, yes, everybody, we have passed it through the academy. Let me tell you, last 1 year, Kaveree.
You've been working very hard, I know.
Yes, academic councils, executive councils were one of the most civilized bodies. We debated, we discussed, and then we came together in a consensus, which is very much the Indian tradition.
Right. And everybody wants a better university. Who wouldn't?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Everybody wants it, and especially the Prime Minister, we are following his idea of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas. And in JNU, we are following it.
There are no anti-nationals in JNU
No,
anymore?
see, nobody is anti-national as long as criticism has its limits. And
so you don't call anyone anti-national anymore?
No, we are the most
Thank
nationalistic
you. Please let us not have labels anymore.
No, Kaveree, we produce the graduates in the Indian military.
Yeah.
For last 50 years, the most nationalistic Army, Air Force and Navy are JNU graduates. So let us, be proud of it. And we are also changing our history programs where we are looking into the gaps in history, and we are bringing in courses where these gaps can be rectified. We are not, I wouldn't say it's rewriting.
Right.
I would rather
I was
say
about
what
to
is
ask
already
you.
there, we appreciate,
Yeah.
but we are putting in the gaps where many chunks of history have not been written and celebrated. Like for example, take Savitri Bai Phule.
Yeah.
We celebrated her 192nd birth anniversary on 3rd of January, and have also appealed to the government of India to declare it as the National Women's Day.
Wonderful. Sunaina, your wish for your university. This is a great model to follow in terms of funding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the universities will have to look at funding models and perhaps have to do a little bit of remodeling where systems are concerned. But having said that, I would like to focus a little on the NEP.
Yeah.
This has been a game changer. We finally said goodbye to Macaulay way of teaching or, having institutions. I think this will ensure that the Indian knowledge systems play a very important role in our, projection of India at a global level. Because the knowledge systems that we had, and Nalanda being the Vishwa Guru, we've just started, I must say, that a program on Hindu studies, which is extremely popular. Nalanda, the other important thing, I will focus on it because I think that's what we need to explicate and put out in the domain of public interest, and that is that we have students from over 32 countries at present. When we started off, there was only one country, but today the kind of interest that we have, and all my students in Hindu studies are from other countries. We have 2 students from India. I hope to see more students opting for a course like that, because the repository of knowledge that we have had in India for years, for centuries, I think that needs to be again rediscovered. It's very important as heads of the institution. I would agree with what Santishree ji has just said, but I think as leaders we need to keep changing goalposts. While we have one vision, I think our goals need to be expansive, to be inclusive, and the way we take forward a university would much depend on how and where you would want to see the university in next 10 years, because this is where we are shaping the young minds.
That's true.
I think it's very important that we take another look at our institutions and the roles and responsibilities that they have for the nation per se.
And I hope you're both open to having mature students like us on the campus.
Sure, we will welcome
we don't
you.
have an age bar.
Rather, you'll teach us things better. And we have also in JNU started an MA in Hindu Studies, as well as a 5-year Ayurvedic biology course has already begun, where we are trying to connect our ancient knowledge of Ayurveda systems, both from Kerala and other places, with modern science. And this is being taught to students, and it's a 5-year integrated course.
So I think we've learnt a lot today. Yes, sorry, I
want to tell you, Kaveree, no opposition. When you do it properly, have a consensus discussion, JNU faculty and students are all very, very reasonable. You know, they're the best. So like Amartya Sen said, they are the argumentative Indians.
Yes.
So
and let us keep that tradition alive.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I see the future of our universities is in really good hands. Thank you so much for the conversation.